Okay, let's call the March meeting of the Decatur County Council together. Patty, why don't you lead us in?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take a minute to review the minutes from the last meeting or emailed to us. I didn't see anything. You print one up for everybody.
I'll get
It
it.
was on our email.
Here it is. Any additions or corrections?
I didn't see.
Not all entertain a motion to approve.
Make the motion to approve.
Ashley makes a motion to approve. Deanna seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain from that.
Do what?
I'll abstain from that vote since I wasn't here.
Okay. Any abstain? Okay, Don Schilling. Annual report.
Good morning, everyone. I have provided you with the actual report and also in a presentation to talk a little bit more about it. Starting with the presentation on the second page, you have our reporting requirements we have to meet every year. And this is one, the second one down, we have to report this at a council meeting. So that just gives you an idea of what steps we have to go through for the year. Third page, the list our members for the redevelopment commission for this year. And then the fourth page, this is for the Honda Economic Development Area, is what we're talking about today. And then page 5 is the actual revenues and expenses for this past year. And you can see that expense wise, 3.3 million, that includes a little over 2 million for the bonds that were issued back then. And then about 1.2 million for funds that the RDC has expended in 2025. That was for three major projects, and then a couple of smaller ones and some contract fees and stuff like that, consulting fees. Those three projects, main projects, were the Adams Volunteer Fire Department, the repaving of Michigan Road by Honda, and also the other one was the sports complex out at the ball fields. Those were the major projects we provided funds to. Any questions on those?
Well, have any questions for Don? I will say Don does a great job on this. He puts together this stuff. Everybody gonna hate to see him go one of these days. I hope not for a while. But you had to redo our plan.
Yeah. We added the fifth addendum to our economic development plan. We had approved at the area planning commission, and yesterday it was approved at commissioners meeting, and we will hold a public hearing at our meeting on April the 15th to get any other comments, and after that, then we will officially approve that new addendum, which allows us to provide funds to any school in Decatur County or Greensburg for items that will support STEM programs and stuff like that. That comes up for final approval by our April 15th meeting.
Just a quick question on highway project out by Columbus. What are we doing? Is that something, is that a new project or is that?
Oh, the highway garage, when it was built, the new highway garage, we provided $9 million towards that building.
Okay, so that's what that's.
That's what, yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah, thank you, Don. I appreciate it. Okay, Brian Robbins is not here. Everybody got an email on resolution, preparatory resolution designated certain real estate within Decatur County as an economic revitalization area for purpose of tax abatement. Everybody got to know where that's at. That's the gas lines out there by St. Paul. And what it amounts to is, what I've understood, Kenny has been in on it. They're gonna capture the waste coming off that, the exhaust. They're gonna pressurize it and they're gonna turn turbines and generate 10 megawatts of electricity off of that. So we have to make it an economic revitalization area for the tax abatement. What they want is a 10-year, 100% tax abatement on personal property. They're gonna pay us $82,000 a year, which is $8,200 a megawatt, which will be money that can be used for anything. So we're looking at $820,000. One question I had was, I was gonna ask Brian if they were gonna hold to the 30% floor after, for this 10-year abatement. I didn't know. I'll find out from Brian.
The only conversation I've heard, because the tax laws changed at a state level, they could have gotten by with less, but they are
Right.
following up and saying, no, we still want to stick with our
Yeah.
original
They're
agreement.
gonna stay with what we started with.
Yeah, we would have known, if they would have stayed with that graduating scale on the tax basis, we would have been out in about 3, 4, 5 years.
6 years.
They said they would go ahead and
Yeah.
just stick to that.
Which is why we started years ago working on these incentives that wouldn't be aligned with with taxes
Right.
because of that.
This
So
started, what, 3 years ago, Kenny?
Yeah, about 3 years.
3
ago, we
years
started
ago.
talking.
Because they started out wanting a 20-year abatement, and we kind of thought that was just a little much. It set precedent for other companies, so. we didn't. And there's a possibility they'll want another 10-year abatement, want to continue to pay, so.
Pretty good deal. They're gonna recycle their exhaust, which is a pretty good idea.
So this is the first reading of the resolution. Everyone had it emailed to them. I think we have to vote on it. And if you want me to have Chris Tebby read it, make sure everything's okay, because we have to have a second reading on it. Everybody understand where I'm at?
Make a motion where you approve the first reading and approval from Chris Tabby on the review.
What resolution number would this end up being?
2026-8.
2026-8.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Well, if we have to sign this now or later
I
on the
don't
second
think so,
reading?
not with the.
Just a second reading?
Second
Okay.
reading.
You want
You want to save this one? Okay. Transfers. Let's see, we got one. Which is unclaimed property tax surplus. $26,307.39. That going back in, what accounts that going back in?
County General.
Going back into county general?
It's unclaimed for what?
Checks that we've sent out since 2018, I think, just checks that have not been cashed.
Wow.
Okay, everyone understand you how that is? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Deanna makes that
I'll
motion.
second.
Ernie seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Additional. Have two. We have one for $23,682.
Is that from
Well, I'm trying to figure out here. Who's this one from, Christie?
How much is it for?
23,600. Really
So that
doesn't.
is commissioners, what is the 24? No. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the, Centerstone. So there was money, we were short on budgeting for 24 and 25. The amount comes in after we budget and do our budgeting. The amount comes in that we get told what to pay from state. In 2024, it was 7,000 short. In 2025, it was 16,000 short. So we will know going into 27 to make it higher. So that's what we're doing here. It's an additional percentage.
Commissioners, are you guys getting anything from Centerstone, like what they're doing?
Well,
We requested that. We've never seen anything.
we, the last month, Christie had asked if it was good to pay Centerstone. And I had asked Chad,
No chat.
and I said, as long as they're in compliance and they're following the guidelines that we set out for them, then yes, we should pay them. But if they're not, then as we've done previously, is held the money. And Chad said they are in compliance. Now, I asked him that question. He hasn't, I'm assuming he's looked through that and said they are in compliance. Have I seen anything? No. But he says they're in compliance.
We haven't seen anything either.
Well, there's a new law that's been passed for some of their reporting too, and they also have to specify how they're using our money on a local level. That was
That's
another
kind of what
thing they
we're-
filed.
Yeah,
what
what's
we
what we're
requested.
asking
Yeah,
for?
well,
Correct.
that's now in law.
So now they will have.
Probably so, yeah, it probably takes effect.
But this was 24 and
25.
25.
Yeah,
We never seen any report on it.
we
We
requested that.
requested that for the last
I understand.
5 or 6
And
years.
we did get the report. Christie, in our meeting, we got the report that they were in compliance in 23 or 24. We had held 3 years.
Four.
Four.
So we'd already paid 22 and 23, and now we just paid 20.
And according to Chad, they're in compliance.
Because we don't really have any choice.
Well, we have to pay them. It's,
Yeah, we
as
don't have
long
any
as
choice.
they do the reporting that they're supposed to
They're the only
do.
ones that are following.
We tried.
Well, the
to get
original bill
other-
did have a choice, but then they backtracked on it. Yeah.
That's what we wanted to see.
So they're supposed to, on it, compliance wise, they're supposed to send us a report. And then they're also supposed to have somebody on their board for us. If I
Yeah.
remember right.
There's
Is
supposed to
that-
be a
did that happen,
commissioner
Brian?
sitting on the board too. I thought, yeah.
We had somebody from our county was supposed to be represented on their meetings or something. If I remember right.
Yeah, you might check with Chad.
I've never heard that.
That was
That's
part of
what
the
was told to
original-
us. But
Well, you
Chad,
guys precede me. I've never heard. that.
well, that's, yeah, because we're actually the ones that stopped it 4 years ago.
Right.
We stopped the
I
payment
understand
and then,
that. Before me, when
Have-
I've heard the compliance issues and
yeah, well, it sounds like don't pay them the 26 till we get it, right? That law.
Well, that's, I asked them to show us how they're spending it, and they told me it's complicated. I said uncomplicated
No
was
brass.
my answer.
Yeah,
Your answer was no brass.
No, uncomplicated. All it amounts to. So, I'll entertain a motion.
Much as I hate to do it, I'll make that motion.
Kenny makes a motion.
I'll second.
It's my better judgment.
Deanna seconds it. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm a nay.
I'm a nay.
If they don't pay it, they're gonna come after us, so.
I know.
They want to try it, and ain't done no good yet.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
could have
sooner or
gone.
later, they're gonna get it, I'm sure.
You put a nay, I put a nay.
Oh,
Maybe
sorry.
an aye.
Got it.
Okay, we have one more. Highway Department. Everyone has a copy of that? $2,730,356.16. Is this adding employees to Tim?
They're in there, they're not in salary orders, we can't have them right now.
Do
So
I-
they're budgeting in for the 2024 salary ordinance. They're not including the salary orders currently. This year they were taken out. So the money's in there, but the positions are not there.
How many positions?
These 5 positions are taken out.
You took five.
So- That's what they took out. They took in 5 positions out. So the money's in there for them, but they're not in the salary orders right now, so we can't fill them without coming back and redoing the salary orders.
Is that what the truck drivers are here? 357?
They were actually operating, a couple operators, a couple truck drivers. When we get the information, what they actually do in time, there was 5 of them between operators and truck drivers.
You ought to come up here. So
sure.
people can hear what's
Yeah,
going on.
sure.
I catch Dickens because nobody can hear it.
Okay.
I'll get him, I'll
So-
get Texas here in a minute.
So they were made up between truck drivers and operators. I can't remember how many, of what scale, A, B, C, or D. I can get that information.
I've got your listed or in my thing, what you want. There's no tractors and stuff
There
included.
is equipment in there, but then it's be the 4,000 series numbers. So, yeah, it'd be the 4,000 is a capital improvement. That's where the money would be at for the trucks, the bushwhacker. Yes, that stuff. I think it'd be between, 11, 16, my local road and street and NVH. I believe we're split evenly between the two. So part of this redoing, this the way we're doing it, so the NVH restricted, we will pay straight out of NVH restricted for restricted eligible funding. So the labor stuff that's eligible, we will pay straight out restricted going forward. Materials come straight out restricted going forward. So that's what a lot of this cleans up, is so we can pay straight directly out of NVH restricted. And not have to try to go back and run the reports and get compliance and do transfers.
But you haven't been doing it that way.
No, no. It has not been that way. I don't know if ever, Chris, I don't think it's been that way since they come out for NVH restricted, have they? But that's been the guidance to go there and do it that way. So now we'll be in compliance to do it the way we should be doing it.
So all these monies are, you have all these monies.
All them monies between cash and, or transfer around, yes, yes. And we left the Cume Bridge alone, left it, because it was the only one that had any property tax money or anything that affects any levies. That's the only one of the budget that's that way. So we never touched it at all because we didn't want to mess with any levies or have implications in it.
Am I having more questions for Tim? New trucks involved in here.
New trucks are involved in there, yes.
I'll go through that. You need some.
Pickups and dump trucks are included in there, yes. And the dump trucks, the 2 dump trucks that's in there are snowplow equipment also.
You ever get that truck that's
No, it is in the shop up there getting set up as of Monday.
You need triaxles.
We need a mixture of everything, I'll be honest with you. So we need some single axles, we need a few of them, we need a few tams, and we need some triaxles. So the triaxles are nice because we're hauling 20% more. I mean, that's just bottom line. So we get, that's just what it is. A lot of the times the price is very minimal. And it's a 2 foot more bed and it's a tag axle, basically what it is.
Are they steering tags?
Yeah, the steering tag, yeah, so you're talking about $7,000 for that tag axle and 2 more foot of bed.
Can you use them for snow removal?
Yes. So the very first one, so the last three triaxle steps, snow removal, V-Back, yes, they are centered. The very first ones, the very first two we got, we were told they had snow plows only for them. They were new model trucks. Come to find out, nobody snow plowed them out. Even though the supplier said they would, they did. That's the reason them two did not get set up for snow. The three after that are all set up for snow.
I didn't know whether they could make a turn.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the new trucks, the turning radius on new trucks really ain't no different. They probably turn sharp on their old panels, the new ones.
While you're up there, I want to give you
Yes.
2 compliments. Thank you for having EMA with their bus. That was a very
Oh,
good
no problem.
cross-reference source. And also there was a culvert that was replaced on my road that used to flood every time there was bad rain. And this last crazy rain we had, there wasn't a drop of water that crossed the road. So it was definitely an improvement.
Like to hear that.
I see the county trucks hauling dirt away from the pool side. Is that,
Yes.
is that we being paid for that or?
That would be
credit
between the
for that?
commissioners and yes, so it's all being tracked. Now, how that all gets done with commissioners, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, it's all being documented and tracked on their daily work logs.
I think it's a good thing helping out with Ken, yeah.
Yes, so that they'll be able to go back and we'll be able to generate a labor cost and generate a equipment cost. Through that, we can do that. It's being tracked individually on their daily work.
Have you studied maybe contracting out some of the triaxle hauling rather than we own the trucks?
You know, we have, and we're okay providing we usually put them to work for like a day. And just have them bring one load in, it's usually not feasible, okay? So yeah, so this year we did bid our asphalt, right on board, we did bid trucking also as an option, which, I mean, it came in pretty reasonable, it really did, that bid's not been accepted, yes, we did bid it that one year.
You bid it that you're gonna haul the asphalt?
Well, we bid it that if we needed asphalt, if the asphalt plant would bring it to us. Now, I think it was $10 a ton. It came in, if I remember the correct numbers. So if we didn't have the trucks or have somebody, we had it brought to us.
Have you guys looked at that lease program that the sheriff's was using for?
We are looking at, so the very first lease product, the very first number they come back with is if you had cash in hand, it wasn't feasible to lease. Okay, so they came back, said, we got our options. So basically what we did, we told them, go back, and here's the deal. Go back, bring us all options on the table. But one of the big things we want to know is what is the lowest cost of ownership? Now, if this is 3 years, trade this thing at 3 years, or does this thing keep it 5 years? Is it buy it outright? We want the lowest cost of ownership on all the different options. So see where we're actually at. Okay? So that's what we requested of them. You know, buy them outright might be the best way to go. It might be trade at 3 years. It might be for this classification, trade at 3 years, and this classification, rent to 5 years. We don't know until we get all the life cycle costs on paper. So that's what we requested, so we know actual, every option, what the total cost of ownership.
That through enterprise too.
Yes, that's the enterprise. Like I said, we request every option. No, we just requested that last week. So they talked like it'd take 2 to 3 weeks to get all them options on the table.
Yeah, I think it's working out for the sheriff's department pretty good.
So like I said, we'll see what the numbers come out.
Any other questions? He has always some cash. I don't think it eats up all of it, does it?
No. I believe coming this year is like 8.5. It's not where we were at.
I'll make the motion and they allow this.
Bill makes a motion to approve an addition.
I'll second.
Ernie seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
I think others made it down there, didn't it? Other additional. I took one home that one day.
No,
Yeah, you probably.
yes, it did, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to bring it back. Well, we got one salary ordinance. And everybody got a copy of that? Okay, it's auditor. Come up 3. Hourly wage to 23.46
It's for the two.
to
That was
24.16.
approved last month.
That was corrections for ones last month. It's corrections we did last month. Everybody approved it last month. I'll entertain a motion to approve this. Goes from 23.46, 24.16. Ashley makes a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Deanna seconds. Any other questions, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's everything on my agenda. Anybody got anything? Doug, anything going on? Well, tell us.
Well, we're still working through the comprehensive plan. We had a steering committee meeting in March. We'll have another one in April, and then we'll have a public open house at the end of April. So the next steering committee meeting will be the first week of April. Then the public open house, which basically be kind of the projected plan, that will be at the last week of April. Dates haven't been quite set, have not been set yet. It'll be towards the end of April.
Finalized.
It won't officially be finalized. We'll have a few more meetings to take in the data from the public forum to get the public's feedback from what's presented at that meeting. So we're looking at finalizing it around the end of July.
Any questions for Doug on it? He's doing a great job on that. I'll give him credit for that. That'd be time consuming.
It is, but it's worth the time.
Thanks, Doug. Don, anything?
We're just kind of in a holding pattern. We're in the middle of ribbon cutting season. For whatever reason, there's a lot on the books right now. So just look at our social media and our events calendar for information on that. We did announce that there's a new very large chamber member benefit that we're getting ready to announce. So again, watch our social media for that announcement.
Anybody else?
Is the sheriff not talking about our store building?
No,
No.
no, he think you strike him off.
Sorry about your.
I would love to talk about it.
That was keep you at work.
I've got 2 shelter updates. We have completed the interviews for the new shelter director, and we should be getting salary approval at our next meeting. It will probably come in between $48,000 and $52,000, just FYI. And then also last week, the shelter officially achieved no-kill status, which means they have an average save rate every month of over 90%. That's important because it opens up a whole new level of grant funding that will help fund a new building, other large projects. So
Okay.
We don't need it.
We heard anything from,
Right.
we heard anything from Wagner and Shealy on the salary
nothing yet.
study? Nothing yet?
No.
Okay. Anything else from anybody? Well, before we leave, before Kenny pulls the trigger, we emptied the buildings out at the fairgrounds Saturday. That was our winter storage, and there's a bunch of guys I need to thank. Start off with Patty Hensley. Patty emailed everybody, and then I don't know how many emails she got. People said, well, we can't be there, we can't be there. So we said, well, they're setting out, you come and get them whenever they're ready to go.
They're all gone.
They're all gone. And Bill was out there. And Bill. And we had Brian Winning came out. We had 4 guys from the Power of the Past. We had Clark Martin, Rick Carpenter, Frankie Norwald, and Tom Cherry. We also want to thank Brian Owens. Brian Owens left his little telehandler out there and let us use it all morning so we could have a good piece of equipment out there to empty out with. We had Frankie Norwald running it, so I want to thank all them guys for coming out and helping. So the buildings are empty, they can be rented now. I think there's a cattle show
Cattle
this weekend, so if you got nothing to do, go watch cattle. Okay. Anybody got anything else? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Kenny makes a motion to adjourn, Ernie seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposing for that? Okay.
We did a adjourn last month.